Welcome back to another episode of the Pencil Pushers Project, episode 42. We appreciate you tuning in and listening to us. I am one half of the Pencil Pushers. I go by the name of Jay, and I am joined by my co-host. And Zay, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long week. First week of school. I've been busy. I've had a pretty interesting week, to be honest. And it feels good to come in here and just about to release it all.
Let it out, huh?
I gotta let it out.
Gotta let it go.
It's been a wild week, boy.
Well, without further ado, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, again, we do thank you for tuning in. If you go into the description, you will see the timestamps for particular topics, and then you will also see links for our social media. Please connect with us, and if you do enjoy this content, please give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel, and we appreciate you for tuning in. So, let's go ahead and you say you had a crazy week. My week was so, not super crazy. I'm interested to hear about what you had cracking, but there's the fallout of everything that's happening since the Capitol coup.
Yeah, that's something else that's been going on too.
People getting hemmed up, jammed up, locked up
in the most ridiculous ways.
Yeah,
it's some wild stories, man.
White folks it's funny because like a lot of them are like they're so shocked that like, you mean I'm getting in trouble for this?
This is like catching a real life movie. Like, this is a real life movie we're witnessing right now.
I think like 10 years ago, you know how people say like, yo, if I told you so and so this would have happened, there's no way. And this is what this is.
Yeah, this is that moment.
This is like that, bro. It isn't even. I just, whatever somebody say happened now, I'm just believing it. I don't even. All right, bro, it happened. So, you want to start with what? Horn Man? You want to start with
Horn Man? Oh wait, you already said we're on streaming service. You already said all that, right? As always, we're on all the streaming services.
Spotify, Apple Music,
you name it, we're there. We're on Instagram, Twitter. Oh wait, no, we're not. We're not active on Twitter.
We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Again, the link will be in the description to connect with us. And but yeah, man, Horn Man.
On to our leading story.
I don't even know the dude's name.
Horn Man.
Horned white male.
So basically, during the assault on the Capitol, there was this guy who walked in wearing like a bison head, I guess. It was like a bison head with the horns. We'll rock with this. And his face was painted and, it was all types of weird shit. Basically, this guy, he's in jail right now. And his lawyer put out a couple statements. And they also have been doing, I guess the FBI has been investigating more into how this riot or mob or I don't know, there's a million things you can call this thing. Yeah, there's a million things you can call this, but basically they're trying to see how it was formed, the formation, and what they can't. Honestly, a lot of the stuff they've been finding out has been kind of chilling, to be honest. Like, it's kind of crazy. So they found out that these people actually went in with the intention to hang Mike Pence, which is they went in there in the intention to hang Mike Pence, and they also found out that he only got missed by being seen with them by like a minute. Like, it was like a 60-second window where he moved out, and they just so happened not to see him. But that's not what we're really getting into. And then they went in there to assassinate elected officials, all that. So this guy said, man, this shit's crazy. He said, basically, I went in here with the intentions of doing all this because I knew Trump was going to pardon me. And I was just like, what a thought to have. Like, that's a thought to really.
It's got to be quite a privilege, I guess we'll use that word, because it is appropriate.
Call it what it is, man.
It is appropriate just to have a conversation amongst peers and say, hey, man, let's go hang the vice president.
Yeah, and we know Trump's gonna pardon us.
We know Trump's gonna give us a pass.
Like that's a thought, man.
That's a wild conversation to have in the group chat.
I know. Could you imagine typing that shit out?
Yo, man, about to go hang Trump. About to go hang Pence. Y'all want to come? Y'all want to come through? Yeah. Let me just drop my kids off at my at my in-laws.
It's so that came out, and I guess just before the podcast, we found out that I guess he's not eating because he wants the food to be organic or some shit. I can't imagine me.
Should have thought about that before you.
What a life it must be to be white.
Just telling you, man. What is this piss that y'all are serving me?
What is this? It's I don't know. As we watch this situation unfold, because I hope people are still paying attention to this. I hope people. Because we all saw a storm in the Capitol, but I hope people are really paying attention to the aftermath of this because it's pretty insane.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Not only that, Trump, him being impeached for the second time as well, in conjunction with, you're seeing a lot of activity as far as like him having his social media shut down. The Parler platform, which I think was connected to Apple or Google, they shut that down.
What do you think about the Parler getting all this shit? I don't think they deserve it because it's not like they really.
Well, I think this is the way I saw it. To be honest with you, is if you go back to the Capitol hearing about the big tech companies having control of, like, monopolizing like the ad space. This is almost like and connected to that in the space of, okay, you go from now you monetizing you're monopolizing the ad space. Now you're going into a realm where anyone who ain't rocking with what you rocking with, or anything that you may deem as hate speech or whatever have you, you're just gonna cut them off at the pass.
Yeah.
And but there's gonna be a readjustment from the people with different views, and understanding that there's gonna be a need for a platform that's gonna be able to cater to that. So I think you're gonna start seeing a lot of little platforms.
That might be our idea right there.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just
rejoice, whites.
So it's like, look, just because you could eliminate them, you can eliminate them from Twitter, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram, but people got phones and they connect to each other.
Exactly.
And it's like it's one thing to say, like I said last week, you already made your bed with them. Mm-hmm. So
you might as well just keep it going at this point.
So yeah,
because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see the issue with people having, like, okay, do I think they're all ridiculous, crazy? Sure, whatever. But I don't see the issue with Trump supporters congregating. Now, plotting to take over the Capitol, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think for the App Store, the Google Play Store and the Apple Store to take Parler off their platforms, I think that was kind of a reach, to be honest. I feel like it was kind of unjustified and unfair, because I don't get the point of that, because basically y'all are doing the exact same thing that liberals and Democrats have been saying, which is dividing people even more at this point. You're playing into that without even realizing it now.
So one thing I wanted to bring to your attention was that happened as far as the, what is it? 51.
Holy shit. 51 billion.
Yeah. So let me grab that.
What?
So what I just showed him to the audience is basically Twitter and Facebook. There's been a combined $51 billion of market value that's been wiped out since basically eliminating Trump for their platforms. So this is what I'm saying. Like you think this is solving your problem, but you're really like I said, they're creating a new problem.
You're right. Yeah,
they're creating a brand new problem. Like I said, so now there's a need in the marketplace for a platform where people who truly have differing views can go to that platform without having this type of control.
But this is why I say, I thought about what you said last week, and I agree with your point when you said we shouldn't be praising these social media companies for kicking Trump off. And when you see articles like that, you're like, okay, like y'all decided to turn the other cheek now.
People want to pretend that they're not part of the infrastructure. They.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, like I said, we just got finished talking about, people talk all the time about the dark side of capitalism. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Zuckerberg, Dorsey. These dudes are beneficiaries of that. So like they are, people to assume that they're on the side of the people, to me, is just very much naive.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how you could fall for that, but if you do look at the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, all these people see is green, man. Yeah. Like, very few platforms, honestly, I think, are really on the side. Like, Facebook is clearly on the right-wing side, clearly. So I'm not going to say that, but I think people like Jack Dorsey, man, they just see money. I don't think they really care about all this shit. And I could be wrong. Maybe he does care. But off of what I'm seeing, it seems like they're just following trends.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I see it. So, and then also, what else happened? What else developed? The guy who had his feet on Pelosi's desk, I think there was like a 5-hour hearing, and the judge allowed him to be on house arrest until the start of his trial,
which is crazy.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Must be nice, man. So, but yeah, man. Like you said, I don't. This is just the beginning. I mean, you already. I think I read an article as well that there was I think Delta had a ban, a firearm ban.
Yeah, I saw that.
And for the incoming inauguration of Joe Biden, and of course, there's also been like heightened security, things like that. People who, which is amazing because
yeah.
I would have thought that for Barack, and he made it, so I think Joe
I think Joe will be fine.
I think Joe will be all right. I thought when Barack became president, I was like, yo, if y'all don't put the National Guard,
y'all better fucking that's true.
So
I think at first I didn't think any punishments were going to get doled out, but honestly, as this plays on, I think they're really about to give it to these people.
Well, to me, it's like they have to. They can't not. They can't. I know doesn't sound grammatically correct, but they can't afford to not.
Yeah.
Because the precedent that you send, regardless of the color of the individual, which I know does play a part, but if motherfuckers just walk into your federal building, put their feet on your shit, wipe their shit on your on your walls,
yeah,
scale your walls, break your shit, it's like. You gotta. I mean, I think it's people are. I mean, you are starting to see arrests slowly but surely. So I do think that. I did think that there was gonna be some punishment at some point because, it just you can't let that rock like that.
Well, I knew it was gonna be a punishment, but now I think they're about to like max them out. Mainly because it's a difference between getting embarrassed domestically and getting embarrassed on the international front. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, we've been getting embarrassed domestically for years. People have seen flaws in our systems for years. Even things such as, I mean, I'm taking it back, but like, you had the trial of Chicago 7. You had the Chicago 7 trial. You have racial injustice. These are things that we are actually, like, vividly known for here. But when you have people who can just walk into your Capitol and just destroy shit, it's like, oh, so y'all aren't who we thought y'all were. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we look like right now. So that's why I think they are really about to max these people out because it's an international embarrassment at this point.
No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. No doubt.
And also, they don't. I think there will be. Actually, this might be the first time black people don't even do anything, honestly. We might not even protest. We'll probably just be like, eh.
I mean, I always felt like last week wasn't even our fight to fight.
Nah.
And yeah, there's certain things you could definitely point out in terms of hypocrisy and what if, but at that point, I was just like, yo, that's
dumb.
Blue on blue.
That's all I thought about.
Blue on blue. So.
I had no, you know what? And honestly, at first, I didn't have any remorse for any of the police, but honestly, now I kind of do because not all of them. Like, I mean, whoever that fucking chief was, get him the fuck up out of there, of course. But, a lot of those policemen, as more comes out, like, it's like shit. They really were in like an impossible situation. They couldn't walk off, but you can't fight off 15,000 people either when it's just 30 all out there.
Listen,
it was it's a tricky situation.
A different audience, then niggas would have been mowed down.
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean,
honestly, they could have got mowed down there. They really got lucky.
But that's the hypocrisy part of it, because you can make an argument that fear of life, or fear of their own, as an officer, fear of your own well-being, how that's usually how they justify, using lethal force.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got a mob of hundreds of people coming at you. I think that's a fair justification.
more. I mean, yeah,
but somehow they remained. They did not resort to lethal force. Fascinating.
I don't know. This whole situation it's really an insane. This is an insane moment.
And once again, nobody's releasing music right now, so it's gonna be Capitol talk and it's gonna be impeachment talk and other shit.
Yeah. So I mean, well, this affects a lot because this is affecting. We already had a messed up outlook. We didn't need any more confirmation, but I feel like this was like the biggest confirmation you could possibly get of just the racial divide in America.
Well, I think for a while now, we need to re-examine this, and I know there's more than two parties, but we need to re-examine the primary parties of Democrat and Republican, because there's a nation full of millions of people, and our ideals seem to funnel to either Coke, Pepsi, this or that. Because if you vote, if someone says, if you dare vote a different party, oh, that's a wasted vote. That's if you vote independent or libertarian, you know what I mean? So I think regardless of whatever happens, man, and I think the system is fucked up. And that's not like a shocking take, I don't think, but I don't think this gets resolved as long as things are aligned the way they are, where it's this, because that's literally a divide to me.
Yeah.
This or that. So, race is a big part of that divide, but you got people on both sides. Hell, you got a lot of black and brown people who lean towards Republican for different reasons. And it gets kind of I'm not gonna say complicated, but yeah, people say, I'm not really Republican aligned like party wise, but maybe like values wise or policy. It gets messy, man. And I just think it doesn't do good for anyone. I really think that the government as it is and the way it's kind of set up, you're only really gonna please maybe half of the country anyway at any given point. So
that's true. We live in a country where I don't know. I'm starting, and I'm kind of about to branch off of government too, but I feel like I'm starting to just see things as what they are. We live in a country where we only cater to one. We try to cater to everyone, but our government mainly only caters to one people, and they're all white.
Well, I agree with that. And then also not even just solely white, but the people who's funding these campaigns. To me, it's always like follow the money.
What do you think about? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What do you think about all these people talking about they want refunds for their contributions for the Trump campaign? Have you been seeing that? Like all these companies are like these people who donated, they're like, oh, we want our donations back.
I haven't heard of that, but
you didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh my God, it's been like major companies, man.
Well, if I'm the Trump campaign, got you, bitch.
Yeah. You ain't getting shit back.
Yeah. Kiss my ass. That's interesting.
I forgot who. It's not. It ain't no small time companies either. I'm trying to remember them, but I seen it a couple times when I was like just scrolling through the internet, and it's like these CEOs, these millionaires, people with money. I guess they just been donating to Trump's campaign like a motherfucker.
Well, a donation is never, in my eyes, a donation is never really free. I think they were perhaps promised something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With that, let me not even say perhaps. They were promised something along with that donation, and it was like on the front end. We'll get you where we need to get you, and then once you know, but that arrangement did not come to fruition because Donald Trump lost the election. So now it's like, I need that paper back.
Not only that, but that storming the Capitol. Now you got people probably digging into you like, oh wait, where you stand on this shit? And you right now, see, before you can get caught on the wrong side of the crossfire, but now, nah, because it's too embarrassing. That's why you got all these Republicans jumping ship now, because it's like, you really want to stand on that side after what everyone witnessed, everyone witnessed that y'all caused.
This is another thing about the not the censoring, but the eliminating Parler and banning people off social media. And this is where people do want to be careful, because if you kick everybody off of social media, then how you gonna find them when they're doing the bullshit?
Yeah.
If I got banned off social media, now you niggas can't find
me. That's true.
So, I always felt like we have to see the world as it is, and we have to live in a reality. To try to mask things and again, I'm not saying you have to. There's certain things that your company, I don't think you should allow. And I think if Twitter was going to do that, they should have did that 4 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so it's like that, and that to me, that's my point. Like, the writing was on the wall, and if this is the argument that people are using about a private company, damn, 20 minutes. Oh, we can wrap this shit up. But
yeah. I mean, but it's a topic that keeps evolving. That's the thing.
I think what people are, all right. So I guess we'll talk about, or I'll just talk about what happens now. As we move forward, there's going to be a new, obviously a new president, new vice president, new officials in office, and to me, this if you identify as a Democrat, this should be rubber meets the road, because niggas went all in to get these niggas in office.
Yep.
So now it's like, now the rubber should be meeting the road, and people say, all right, we just had to get Trump out of office. Now he's out of office, and now because he's been impeached again, I don't believe he can run again. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, once you get impeached twice, you can't.
So he can't run again. So now the Trump problem is eliminated. So now you have 4 years minimum, I guess. I'll say 4 years to really. You have to find a way to unite the country, and you can't say you're going to unite the country if you're literally going to try to block half of it.
Yeah, sure.
So it's rubber's got to meet the road, man. You got to start sitting down with people that you don't like, and I'm talking about like people in political positions, people who are everyday people. We have a slightly different situation, because at the end of the day, we do have to interact with people that we see day in and day out, and they're probably gonna have a MAGA sticker on their truck or a Trump sticker on their truck.
Yep.
And it's like, what the fuck you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it? There's nothing you can do about it.
What the fuck you gonna do? So,
I don't know. As we learn more about this, we're probably gonna keep talking about it, because, like I said, it's just an evolving situation, and we don't know where any of this is gonna go. But it's damn sure interesting to read about.
I need my 1,400 the rest of my STEMI. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we'll get new developments, and we'll talk about it. Where are we going next?
I want to tell you about what happened to me in the gym.
So what happened to you in the gym? So this is our Tales from the Gym. I don't know what the fuck we're going to call it.
I don't know, man.
Gym Tales.
We're trying new things, guys. So.
Locker room. Can we say locker room talk? Has that been banned because of Trump? Locker room talk.
Locker room talk. Why would that be banned?
Grab him by the pussy. And he was like, "That's locker room talk."
What? He said that for real?
Yeah, so that's what.
I forgot about that. I forgot he did.
And Twitter didn't ban him.
Man,
then.
Trump
They didn't ban him then. That was before he even. I think I was like when he was first running.
Trump did some wild shit.
Come on,
bro.
man.
But
so what happened, bro? What happened to you in the gym?
All right, man. So you seen the gym in my apartment? It's a pretty good gym, man.
It's nice actually.
And I go there when I don't feel like driving to the gym. I go there. So this particular day, I decided to go there. And there's this guy, this African dude, who I don't remember his name, but we talk, and he knows my girl, and he has a crush on her, so shit like that.
Oh, so it's already a static.
Well, I don't really have static with this guy. I don't really care, but he's a cool dude. Like he don't like hold nothing against me, but okay. So I feel like we had a slick jab moment.
Get to the smoke. Let's say this.
And so basically. He walks up to me and he says, "Hey man, how you doing? We just talking, whatever, cool, it's fun." And then he says to me, he's like, "Oh, do you have a certain routine?" And I say, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Do you follow like a certain workout pattern? Like, do you know what muscles, this, that, and the third?" And I said, "No, not really. I just whatever I didn't do earlier that week, I just do it." Like, I was like, the only thing I make sure is that I do every muscle twice a week. But I said, as far as like Monday is chest day, Tuesday, I was like, I don't do that shit. Like, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, man. So, he was like, what about dining?" Like, I'm thinking like I'm like, "Oh, he's cool, whatever. He's just talking, asking me what I do, whatever. And he works out too. But then he says, you know what he said to me? He asked me a question, and I looked at this man like, really? He said, "So, do you do legs?" And I looked at him like, "Yeah."
Well, he said it like disrespectful. He said it like
bro. Okay, look, man. I was wearing shorts.
Oh, so he was.
I was wearing shorts. Now, I'm fully aware that I am not a small guy. Julian is not a small guy. It is, and this isn't even me being cocky, but it's obvious that me and Julian both do legs. It is obvious. So when this man asked me this, I looked at him like, is this a real question? And then he says, "I just started doing legs this year, so I'm just asking, do you do legs?" And I'm looking at my legs like, "Yeah, nigga, I do legs." So then I say, and so he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I'm like, and then I started getting all scientific on this nigga. Because here's the thing. I was like, "You trying to be funny." And I was like, I was like, "Yeah, I do legs because, testosterone, most of your testosterone is built up in your legs and your back, which most people don't know. So when you actually work out your legs and your back, you're actually helping your whole body. But, a lot of people just do chest, upper body, and don't do legs, and then they wonder why they hit these plateaus and they don't get bigger and all that. And it's like, because you don't hit legs." And I explained this whole thing to him.
What he said?
He couldn't say anything. He looked at me like, "Oh, this nigga knows what he's talking about." And I'm looking, and here's the thing. He's older than you and me. So he's probably looking at me like he knows I'm 26. So he's probably like, "Oh, he's like, he doesn't know anything." And I'm like, "No, nigga, like, I read." So then I was like, "What are you working on in the gym today?" He says, "I'm doing cardio." He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, I just did deadlifts and chest or something. I don't remember what the fuck I did. I just remember I did deadlifts." And he said, "Okay, cool." And then he goes to the trip. He goes to the stair climber. He starts doing the stair climber, right? And he finishes up. And I think he's about to leave. He looks at me. I look at him. And he comes straight to the weights and starts doing legs. He started working on his legs.
How long was he on the Stairmaster?
For like 10 minutes.
Oh,
But he said it like, "I'm about to do this whole cardio," because he was like, "Yo, I lifted yesterday, and so I'm doing cardio today." And then he comes over, he starts working on legs and arms. And I'm like, "Yo, you just told me you're doing cardio." Bro, here's this part that killed me, though. So, the fucking, the adjustable seats. Like, you can adjust the back, man.
yeah.
Dude grabs Oh, I was doing deadlifts and I was doing back and shoulders. That's what I was doing. So I was doing military presses, whatever. He grabs one of the adjustable seats. He looks at me. He does a warm-up arm with like 25 and then goes straight to the 55s. Picks them up, and then he's curling. But he's curling them like,
swinging and shit.
bro, swinging like a motherfucker. And I'm like, I wanted to say so bad, like, yo, you're not helping yourself right now, man. Like, I really wanted to say something. But I'm gonna let this man cook. Because clearly he feels like some type of way about it. And so he's just slinging it, bro. And then he'll put the weight down. Go like,
where you drop that bitch like, ah!
Nah, you might as well had it at that point, though. And then he picked it back up and started slinging it again. He was doing it in each arm. And I'm just looking at this dude like, why? Like, and that's the thing. Like, you sacrificing your form, you sacrificing all this just to impress me, and I don't care. Like,
yeah, I feel like those days should be dead by now, of like the ego lifting thing.
Yeah,
I think there's enough people who create content where, and I'm not sure this guy's like a social media guy, but there's enough people who kind of have spoken against it. People who are like really in shape too, who are like, yo, man, like, what's the point of going heavy if your form is fucked up?
Exactly.
And they kind of like, they almost like shame it. They almost shame it now, like the swinging shit, or if you're doing like deadlifts and your back is all like rounded up and shit.
Yeah,
it's almost like people are like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? So, yeah, that's
and
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at him, and I mean, like, I'm thinking in my head, like, yeah, like, I know I'm bigger than you, but I'm not. It's not like I don't feel like I move in a certain way where I like flex that kind of stuff, you know?
I think people sometimes when they well, I'm gonna say people. I think guys sometimes when they go to the gym, and your gym is smaller, so it's more like residential stuff. So like, I don't think it's like a heavy traffic.
Yeah, I mean, not really, no.
So I mean, in that space, he's probably feels, I guess, comfortable to kind of just have the conversation and shit like that. But like, bro, you wasn't gonna do legs if I wasn't here.
No, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you had no intentions of doing this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I be kind of hating that sometimes.
And I hate when people like try to size you up at the gym. Like, they're like comparing themselves to you, and I do it too. But can you do it like less obviously? Like just take a quick glance and be like, okay, nigga. Like,
yeah, I stopped doing that, man. I stopped. Honestly, I just, I still go to the gym over the spot where we met at. But I really don't. I mean, I kind of say to myself anyway, as far as like just working out. But
yeah,
I chop it up with a few cats. Like, what's the dude's name?
Jamel.
No, not him.
Oh,
not him. He works there. I think he trains there. I think he has dreads too. I forget the dude's name. He said something to me because I was benching the other day.
What do you say?
He just was giving me props.
Oh,
because I honestly, quarantine and stuff like that is been like a thing as far as like strength wise, and before quarantine, and I'm like 220.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's not heavy, but I think by the more advanced people estimation. But as far as the bench, I was trying to get over 300, and I had never done it before. I always got stuck at like 295.
That's a wild number to get stuck at.
I know.
I would hate that.
It's
what the hell? I would hate that.
It pissed me off, but I did it the other day.
Congrats.
That shit was easy. Like,
oh, you eating now?
Crazy. No, it was crazy easy. So like, I was like almost shocked. So I put 305 up, and then I was like, fuck it. So I'm gonna put, so I put like 335, and then like I got it. I had to do spot me in case. I did one, and then I tried to do the second one, and I was like, oh.
It's probably because you did 295 so much. It's probably easy to you now.
Well, I'll tell you what the biggest thing. It's in the gym podcast, but I think the biggest thing I actually was doing is I focused a lot on my back. Like,
Okay.
Just during like the past few months, I've really been focusing on my back. And one of the things that people don't realize, like when you bench, is your back and your lats can actually like help you when you're not only when you're lowering the weight down, but like when you start to press up, you can actually use your lats to kind of help you press the weight up. And I started really like incorporating that. And I changed my warm up routine. Like I do like a couple sets of rows before I bench to kind of like warm my back up, and then I
never thought about that.
Yeah, so like almost like the negative movement of the bench, I just do like the machine row. So it's almost like mimicking. So it's mimicking like the negative.
Just
movement.
an opposite.
Yeah.
direction.
So yeah. So I'm mimicking the negative movement of the bench, and then I do like some front delt raises to get my front delts warmed up, and then it's kind of like those two things I think have helped me out a lot. Like changing my warm up routine. Like now, to be honest, I take about 20 minutes to warm up before I start like getting into like my working sets. I do like 10 minutes on the elliptical. Like that gives me like enough to build up like a sweat, like a light sweat, and then depending on what I'm doing, I build up like a couple of like warm up exercises, and then I kind of get to it. But that dude's been asking me, he's been asking me like off and on. He's like, "Hey man, you wanna train here? Still looking for a trainer?" The dude.
What do you say? No. I'm cool.
No, thank you, beloved. No, thank you, brother. So, yeah.
Does he know you're certified? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a situation. There was a situation that happened, man, and because of a Facebook post, I had tagged the gym.
Why? What made you do that?
I mean, like, you know how you check in places.
Okay.
Just check it in.
Oh, they were like, "Why you training people here?"
No, but I wasn't. I was just. It was literally like a selfie. But some other gym, oh no, it was a different gym that I went to, like a different location. So their manager, I guess they went on my page, and all of a sudden, so he starts blowing my phone up. He said, "Yo, bro, you need to get in here right now. They're trying to cancel your membership." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, like for what? He was like, so we had talked, and he was like, "Bro, look, I fuck with you. You've been here for a few years. Like, you know, say I know you come in here, you work out, you do your thing. You don't come in here trying to train people." So I was like, I just, you know, the owner likes you. So he's like, you know, we really don't fuck with you like that. But this lady's a fucking bitch, man. So, yeah, that shit was crazy, man. They're trying to get me canceled. They're trying to get your boy.
They're trying to get you out the paint.
Yeah, trying to get me out the paint, doc.
That's
off a selfie. It wasn't even like
that's
I was,
crazy.
Yeah, it was like a It was like I finished working out. I posted a selfie where I was at. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, he was like, this nigga was blowing. It was like leaving voice messages and shit. And I was like,
what I do?
He's like, man, we're trying to go to corporate. She's trying to go to corporate. She's trying to get your membership banned and blah 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 blah. I was like, yeah.
She was white.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Karens, did you see the? This is we're gonna segue for Cedric. Did you see the lady who had
the grocery store?
No, the lady who had like tackled the kid about the iPhone.
Huh?
There was this lady. She was in a hotel and she had lost her iPhone.
Okay.
And she had assumed that this kid had the phone, the black kid. She assumed that he had the phone. Oh my God. So she tackles him to the floor.
Oh my God.
Come to find out, the phone was left somewhere else, and he didn't even have the phone. So she's on. That's not the bad part. It's not, well, that's two parts of it. That's not even like the worst part. I think either later that week or like a week or so later, she gets pulled over for a DUI. Guess who's in the passenger seat?
The iPhone.
No, her mom.
Her mom?
Her mom literally like her. So this kind of goes to the whole point about like her not being accountable. So then it starts to make sense. Like, oh, her mom just lets her do shit and like.
Yeah.
So like she had an interview with she interviewed like a virtual interview with Gayle King.
Oh, I know that was lit.
Well,
I know that was lit.
Gayle was basically trying to ask like, yo, like she's like, I'm sorry if he felt like I tackled him. It was like, what the fuck you mean you felt like?
You felt like you tackled him?
Like you tackled him. What are you talking about? So then like Gayle is like asking something, and she's like, this is the computer screen. She's like, okay, Gayle, enough. Yo, man,
my God,
it was like the worst thing in the world, and it just literally, like I said, the girl and her mom, or no, the lawyer was sitting next to her, and the lawyer was like, "Don't do that, don't." The lawyer was like, "No, don't do that."
Did you see the shit in the grocery store where the lady like tried to hit this dude, was hitting this dude with a shopping cart because she walked in. It was, oh my goodness. I be wishing I see this shit. But you know what? I'm starting to realize people don't do dumb shit in Atlanta because they know it's either going to go one of two ways. Either nobody's going to care or they're going to fight you back. There's only two ways it's going to go here.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen like the groups of like the people who walk in with no mask and they're like, no, don't take away my rights. And it was like a group that did that. And this white lady attacked this random dude who was in the thing. He was wearing a mask. And she said, this guy's attacking me. And then she started hitting him with the cart and shit. And I'm like,
bro,
y'all know exactly. Y'all know where to go.
That's more of that white on white shit, bro. Because I be seeing like this lady like spaz on this. This lady had spaz on this other lady because the lady and her daughter didn't have a mask on. And she was like, it was an older lady. You're setting a great fucking example for your fucking daughter, you fucking idiot, or something like that. She's like, if you're not cussing around my kid, she's like, fuck you.
See, like, and it's like, y'all know where to do that shit, man.
Listen, man.
Because I'll be some days be like, I wonder if, like, that's ever going to happen to me. Like, if a bunch of anti-mask people, and this is why we lift weights. See, people don't understand the importance of lifting weights.
No, this is like the plus side of, this is kind of like the plus side of being black.
Yeah, that too.
Cause they kind of like,
they're hesitant, or
they try to do that shit where they talk, they run their mouth, and then when you power up, it's like, oh,
yeah,
scary black behemoth.
that's normally what happens.
So
but that's why I tell people, man. I be like, look, because people be thinking I lift weights for the looks. I be like, no, nigga, I lift weights because I know I'm gonna be the last person in the room that y'all try.
Yeah,
not like I'm not in no cocky shit, but it's the truth.
It's like
they know who to go to.
Well, not only just that, but I think with the situation with the mask, you know, it's certain, like you said, it's certain people that they know they can kind of shout at and talk shit to, but they're also like, I really don't have those type of encounters. Like I told you, I was at the food truck earlier trying to.
I never witnessed one. Have you seen one?
Nah, man. Because that's what I'm saying. Like most times, even people who are like people who are, I would say anti-mask, are still pro like business. Meaning like if a business mandates a mask out of respect for the owner, that person's property rights, basically. Yeah. So out of respect for a person's property rights, it's like, all right, cool. I don't fuck with masks, but this is your business, and if you say it, then cool. There's a small percentage of people who will be like, nah, fuck that.
I'm American.
Right. But part of being American too is, again, rights. So there's people who still respect property rights. So it would be no different than going to somebody's house. If you went to somebody's house and say like, yo, you gotta put a mask on my house, it's like, all right, it's your house, you know, fine, cool. Even if they don't rock with masks. You know what I'm saying? It'd be no different from like people taking shoes off in someone's house.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? There's still a respect level by and large. And this is what I be talking about. Like I feel like the media, you would make it would almost seem like there's like just a plethora of people who are like just going at each other about the mask shit. And I think it's just like I think there's a sector of that, but most people by and large, which is why I said the media has to be held accountable a lot of times for some of this type of stuff that I think they help to incite. Because most decent people have a conversation, they reach an agreement, and they move on. But people who've been, you see that episode of The Boys, where the dude kept watching the news. The dude kept watching every morning he woke up. He kept watching the news station.
Yeah.
And eventually he ended up like shooting that guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like a very very seemed like an easygoing guy, mild-mannered guy. Had gone to that gas station before, knew the guy, but because he kept getting that feed into him, day in and day out, he became engulfed in that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think what happens, man.
I think I don't know. I kind of want to see one of these. One day I do want to actually like witness somebody walk into a store, because every time I hear about it, I know it happens.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it happen, but it's normally really low key. It's like a low key disagreement, and then the people will just walk out. I've been waiting to see. I want to witness like a group do it.
See the smoke.
I want to see it for once, because I think it'll be kind of interesting. I probably won't record it. It'll be enough people doing that, but I just want to see it. You ever just wanted to see?
You see that guard get fired? That the security guard at the Capitol. She was on her phone. I guess she was just trying to show people what was going on, and the lady grabbed for her phone and she punched the shit out of her. Like had her shit leaking. black lady.
I would have did the same thing.
Yeah, and she got. They said she got fired for that.
I would have dropped that bitch too.
Yeah, she had her shit leaking. I was like, ooh. One hit too. I was like, oh.
That's how you do it, man. You gotta do it.
Bro,
sometimes.
it was quick, bro. It was so quick. She was doing her phone like this. The lady like reached around. She took around, bop, and then all of a sudden, this dude tried to like. And I'm not gonna say she retreated, but there was like a bunch of like white people around her. So like, she was like, "Yo, let me get up out of here." And
got to.
Dude ran up on her too. I was like, "Yo, if she dropped him," I was like, "Oh shit, she'll be the GOAT."
Somebody hyped her up.
Yo, she got 2 for 1, bop.
Hey, that's what you gotta do though. You gotta. Hey.
But that's kind of how shit go. You know, WAC 100, right? Used to be
Game
manager. He got into a little scuffle with 2 white dudes, and they was going at it. And then he drops one dude, and all of a sudden, another guy get his place. Like, oh no, ain't no get your place now. You was trying to square up.
Nah, nigga.
Yeah, he was trying to. So that's usually how it is. Like the lady was all tough, and that goes back to the consequences thing. You think you just grab somebody's phone and don't shit happen to you. Then when you get your shit rocked,
yeah.
Like, oh,
I
was bludgeoned by. It's like, come on, man.
I'm telling you, man. These.
I was white folk.
I know it's like I have white friends, but goddamn.
I think because at the end of the day, you try to play it cordial, you get fucked with anyway. So if I'm gonna get arrested, I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you. I'm not gonna play cordial and still get arrested. Because you know what? When I get in the back of that cop car, like, damn, I should have dropped that motherfucker.
Exactly. And on top of that, you know that your consequences are gonna match if you would have dropped them or not. So you might as well have dropped them.
Should have just hit him.
You might as well just drop them.
Listen, man, the days of doing shit and not having consequences,
that's over.
Shit's over with. So,
man, what the fuck, bro? What a nation we live in.
Hey, man, land of the free. Land of the free.
Home of the idiots.
Home of the numbskulls. So, have you watched anything this week?
I watched the Tiger documentary.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Boy.
It's good?
Yeah, part 2 comes out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Yeah. And I will be tuned in on HBO watching.
That's on my list. I haven't, I've been seeing it, but that's on my list for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna spoil anything because it actually has some pretty big reveals in it, especially that ending. That ending is insane, and I will just say that I think by the end of the year, it might be considered one of the best, not all but best documentaries of the year. I think it's gonna be in that. I know it's really early, but I think it's gonna be in that category.
Was he beefing with niggas? Who did he beef with?
He didn't beef with people.
But Lord, never mind. I don't care. I'm not watching.
But I will say, if you follow sports, you already knew how Tiger's parents were.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of already knew the extents, but I don't think we truly knew the extent.
Like his dad, especially
his dad, his mom. How? And here's the thing: we see the document. Like most people always talk about how his parents affected Tiger Woods. They don't talk about how it affected other people around him. And they do that. They bring in like people who were genuinely affected by how his parents treated him and how it
strained the relationship, or
not only just strained the relationship, but how they just took away certain aspects of Tiger Woods where it's like you kind of feel bad for him. It's like, shit, I couldn't imagine the amount of pressure. The amount of pressure Tiger Woods has had to deal with since he was 3 is crazy. And I don't think people really I don't think people talked about, I mean, this documentary does, but people, you don't, it dives more into his psyche. Like, this is more of a psychological documentary, and it's really fucking good. My God, it's good. And they only did part 1. Part 2 about to be crazy. If it was anything like that ending, part 2 about to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely interested in it. I'm always fascinated with like those types of individuals, like who grew up under a certain level of I guess you would say either scrutiny or pressure, or i.e., whether it be like the Williams sisters and their dad, shit like that. You know, it's always kind of because you know there's two worlds where people are like, man, you're not letting kids be kids, and you're not. But on the other side, it's like, yo, like I made him the best person. I made him the best of what he is on the entire fucking planet. So do the end? All right. So this actually, I just thought about this question. Do you see yourself if you were to have children, and you wanted to? I'm not gonna say steer them towards sports, but if you saw they had like a knack towards like a certain athletic gift, would you be more of the what's Richard Williams? Isn't that Serena's dad's name?
I think so.
Would you be more of like that type of parent, like, yo, it's gonna take you being, you know, you gonna hate me to be the best of your thing, or do you see yourself being just more like yeah, if you want to do this, it's cool, but if not, like.
That's a tough question. The way I see it, if I do see my kid has a knack for a certain thing, yeah, I'm gonna push him towards that. I'm gonna do all I can, but I'm not gonna take away your childhood at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because what will eat me up is at the end of it. Let's say I did all this and then you didn't go nowhere with it.
Sorry, it's not funny, but
no, I guess it's valid though.
No, but
like, you know, because here's the thing, and I don't want to. I'm about to dive into my own personal life. I recently had a conversation. I've been thinking about my childhood a lot and just my interactions with my parents, and we had to talk because there are certain things that when I look back on it, I feel like it was wrong how certain things are done, and I never thought about it before. But now that I thought about it, I had to talk to my parents just to get it off my chest.
Did you feel that way? And I don't want to turn this into like a shrink thing.
Yeah.
Did you know how you felt back then and just couldn't express it, or did you kind of come to realize it as you got older, like after those things transpired?
I think after just meeting different people, seeing how, you know, how when they tell stories of, it could be a completely different situation, but there are a lot of comparisons that can be made at the same time. And just seeing how those things are carried out, it's like, well, shit. You know, I'm not too far from this. I'm not too far from that. And my parents didn't do this or they didn't do that. And then you just try to, like, understand why. And, you know, I feel like that's what you would get at the end of that. It's like, yeah, okay, you made me the best in the world. Fine. But how do I view you now? And that's the conversation a lot of people don't have is, and that's what I kind of like about this documentary. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm one of the most, because there is a moment in the documentary where Tiger's dad talks about Tiger didn't want to be like this fucking racial catalyst that, you know, he said it. He said, I didn't want to be this fucking black dude who changed the game. I just wanted to beat everyone. That was it. That was my only mission. And his dad told him straight up. He's like, well, you're that guy because you're black, whether you like it or not. And that's what he told him. But Tiger said, I didn't want to do that. But it's like,
I don't want to go into a tangent. Because that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, this documentary gonna make you. I'm telling you, bro.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But I think it's just fascinating because I do think that I think especially a lot of black people can maybe relate to it in some capacity, like you said, as far as I guess being the face of something or being like representing like the black. It's like Barack when he became president. It was like, yo, he's gonna be the benchmark for any future black president to come before
or any future black person born.
So that nigga had to fucking like walk on water basically, as far as like his demeanor, his behavior, his mannerisms, and you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I'm like,
he couldn't even wear a tan suit. That nigga couldn't even wear. Get this heathen out of office. This heathen out of my White House. A tan suit. And, I don't know what month it was. In fucking October.
I think it's a burden, man. And it's a burden I can't imagine placing on my kid. If I know you're a prodigy, I feel like you're gonna become that prodigy no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really had that natural gift for real, you're gonna be great no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get steered towards this no matter what I do. So I'm not gonna rob you. You only have one childhood, and I'm not gonna rob you of lessons that need to be learned, because that's something else this documentary talk about. Is a lot of shit we got to deal with. Tiger never learned until he became an adult. So, just even things such as just general disappointments in life. You know, like, he didn't learn any of that because his whole life was just golf and not being an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's a tough task. But no, I'm definitely interested in watching it.
What about you? You gotta answer your own question, man.
What did I ask you?
You asked me if I realized my kid had a knack for something, am I gonna go through all fucking hell and back to make sure that they stick to this?
I got you. So there's certain components of it. Like, if I I do think that I would try to find a balance to allow him to be him or her, to be a kid. But I do, and I'm just being honest, I do see myself as like a tough person, and I guess in the manner in which, because, and this is kind of like, I would say, like, just I guess in my younger years, I was kind of raised that way as far as like the most grounded perspective of the real world once you get older. Basically, you have to go out and you have to earn things if you want to earn them.
Exactly.
No one owes you shit.
And that's how I was raised too.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you're not entitled to anything. Like, words like deserve, like, you don't deserve shit. Like, you go out and you get it, and no one's gonna hand it to you. So it's like, that's kind of the I would still adopt that same philosophy. Now, one thing however, is at the end of the day, regardless of whatever cost that means, even if it means that they didn't pursue sports or pursue anything, I would always want my children to be to feel like they can express how they feel to me, and express their feelings.
Yeah.
And I think in some of my younger years, it's kind of, honestly, the way I am now is a lot of it does have to do with that, in terms of like, I didn't always, and this is no knock on my parents. My parents are incredible, but there were some times where I just never could really, I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents about just like things I was feeling.
That took me a while too.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just know as especially, as you start coming into a teenager, becoming a young man, and you're starting to try to want to path your life out, and just those types of conversations. And I just always want my children to, because at the end of the day, once they get grown and gone, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. But I never want to have that lifeline cut off where, like, I'm never gonna be like you're 18, get the fuck out of my house. Like, as long as you're trying to figure stuff, as long as you're trying to figure it out and you're working your way through that, you always got a home. Exactly. You always got somewhere you could be at. You always have somewhere where you can talk, someone you can talk to. You're never gonna be on your own. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna help you till I'm no longer here. You know what I mean? So I would just have to find that balance. But I do, me personally, I do think that there is certain value in, I'm not gonna say hardening your children, but just preparing them for the idea of merit, and working for something, and sometimes you have to do what people ain't doing. Sometimes you have to when kids is off, in the summer, having fun and goofing off. And if you say you want to be in a certain space, you don't have to be up when they ain't up. You gonna have to be getting in when they're not getting in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily judge the result, but I always will try to make sure that the preparation is top tier.
Yeah. So, and that was what you said, like, that was something. That's why I relate to this documentary so much. It's like, I do, like, I never told you, like, there's a lot of things that I don't tell people. Like, I used to have this reputation growing up that I was just super fucking spoiled, man. And it's because, you know, I grew up in the big house and all that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, at one point, like, my parents, they were making 40 bands a month between each other, right? But what a lot of people didn't know was that my parents didn't even buy me Jordans. And I would see kids with less than us who parents would buy them Jordans. But my parents used to make me work for everything. I mean, literally, bro, it was fucking crazy. Anything, my parents, like, and that's what, it's like, and I think that's why I understand why they did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, look, this is our life, not yours. Like, you gotta learn to work. And I used to hate getting stuck with that spoiled tag, or
especially when you wasn't.
And I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't spoiled. I wasn't bougie. Now people call me bougie and all this shit because I bought all this nice shit. But it's like, what y'all don't know is that, nigga, I've been, like, I worked myself to this point to where I can buy nice things. And I think that's something, and that was one of the things I talked about with my parents when we talked, was this, like, I hate that I got stuck with the spoiled tag by everyone, my friends, my family, because it was just like, everyone knew, like, the only people who knew I wasn't spoiled was us three.
Yeah. No, you know, it's funny. I have a whole thought about that, but like I said, that could go completely different. That could turn into a different podcast. So we'll put a pin in that for a different day. Interactions with our parents and certain things like that. So back to TV. I watched the first couple episodes of WandaVision. We both were pretty hype about it, up from, you know, trailers and whatnot. And this is going to be a non-spoiler for the audience. I'm not going to spoil anything. What I will say is that they are using, at least in my perspective, they are using the veil of framing it as a sitcom to try to illustrate the story of what's going on between them at this current point. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of on the surface level, there's, you know, it's very like lighthearted, almost like 50s, like i.e. like I Love Lucy type of feel. So there's a lot of, like, there's dry humor, there's shtick humor. They have like the laugh tracks with the audience, but there's like subtle things that are going on within the episodes as well that I think are gonna lead to something. Which, I mean, obviously shows lead to something, but it's just things aren't what they seem, and things are not what they seem. But the way that they're telling a story by way of the structure of it being a sitcom, I think is pretty interesting. And so far, I like it a lot. Right now, there's only 2 episodes that are out on Disney Plus, and they're not super long. I think they're like half an hour apiece. I know. I
wanted them to be longer.
I know. That's what I was kind of concerned about as well. But like I said, so far I do like what's going on. They're slowly telling a story. There's nothing that's you kind of can't really predict at this juncture.
What I like that Marvel's doing is they're getting experimental, man.
Well, yeah, I think they've really, because now after everything that's going on with the whole the first MCU, or the first few phases of the MCU saga, now you have this thing that's going on with the shows, which is an experiment in and of itself.
This show is an experiment.
You know what I mean? And not even just this one, but you have like the other series. You have, I guess, Doctor Strange is supposed to be like a horror movie type of feel. Mm-hmm. I hope they make it rated R, but they're not gonna do it because they some bitch niggas.
If they did that, bro, that would change. But that's what I was telling you. I feel like these Marvel movies aren't for kids anymore. Let's just be honest.
Kevin Feige, Doctor Strange, what is it? Multiverse of Madness. Rated R. Are you a bitch nigga?
Because he already making the right move by making Deadpool 3 rated R.
Deadpool 3 is rated R, so you already got the. I mean, to me, you already kind of had the alley-oop anyway, because it was rated R when it was with Fox, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you already had the oop, so you knew when you was getting Deadpool, you can't make it PG-13.
And you're not gonna lose any money.
You feel what I'm saying?
If anything, you might make more money by making it rated R, to be honest.
And it's like you already. the whole mom's upset about Deadpool. They already went through that in the second one.
Yeah.
He's so vulgar. Like so you already kind of dodge. Not say dodge that bullet, but they've already kind of got that out the way. So,
not to mention Marvel's gonna make money no matter. Like you're gonna have a couple soccer moms who are mad, and then after that, what? Majority of us are gonna be like, are probably gonna applaud you because it's. I think it's 3 movies that need to be rated R in the MCU: Deadpool 3, Doctor Strange, and Blade. Those are your 3.
That's correct.
Because I don't. Now you want to make everything else PG-13, that's fine. But these next 3 movies, I think they have to be rated R. Because I don't think you're gonna be able to push that multiverse to where you really could without making it rated R. And also, I just think it'll just bring a whole new dynamic.
And I think you have to. You try to, they not necessarily try to, but, the comics are not, a lot of them deal with a lot of heavy stuff anyway. So best to run into it than try to run from it and make it just for the sake of a cash grab to make it PG-13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you already know you're going to make money.
Because real rap, that was kind of one of my beefs with Civil War, is a lot of it was kind of them goofing off.
Yeah.
But like Civil War had like a lot of serious connotations and consequences within it, within the actual like the comic. And of course, I know they don't always stay lockstep with the comics, but that was not really like a jovial. Like, they wasn't like at the airport like goofing off while they were fighting each other.
Nah.
You feel what I'm saying? They were like some serious, hell, almost like what we're seeing in the world right now, where people were literally picking sides. You had people who were, with the Sokovia Accords, people who were against it. You had people who were switching sides. You had people who got killed over the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a really, really, it fractured a lot of relationships with a lot of people within that storyline. But yeah, I think now is the time where you can kind of differentiate. You have your audience, you have your items that are for your family audience. You have stuff that's more mature that you can really give us a true fleshing out of a story and as it should be. So,
and let's just be 300. Like, these storylines are really too complex for kids at this point. They start. I would say after. I think I told you this. I don't think there has really been a kids Marvel movie, maybe since Iron Man 2, maybe, because I feel like once they made Winter Soldier, it was like, oh no, we're in a different. They went into a different lane when they made Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they they try to make the movies have like a comedic element, i.e. like a Ragnarok type of deal. But I think, like I said, it's that format to me is, I'm not gonna say dated, but like I said, you know better than to make a Blade PG-13.
You can't make Blade PG-13.
You know what I mean?
It's certain movies you can't do it with. And it's certain, like I said, it's certain movies you're going to hurt by making it PG-13, like Doctor Strange,
right.
Multiverse. You can't make that PG-13.
Yeah, so.
Even though we know you are. But you shouldn't.
Thank you, sir.
But
we getting our time constraints. But yeah, man, honestly, there are a few things that I haven't watched yet that I do want to watch. There's a movie that just came out on Netflix. Did you hear about Netflix? They're releasing new movies every week.
Yeah, didn't they just drop one with like
Anthony Mackie and Dancing Idris? Yeah, that's the one I want to watch. Outside the Wire. I haven't watched it yet, but that's on my list. And then of course, Your Honor coming out Sunday, the next episode. I'm gonna watch that. So.
Yeah, right now, I'm got too much entertainment shit going on, so I'm trying to weather everything down. Like, I got video games I still want to play that I haven't played. I'm just trying to like I'm watching The Sopranos right now, and I'm kind of leaving it at that at the moment because, like I said, I'm not trying to. One thing I've noticed that I do, and it's a bad habit, is I start shows and I don't finish them. Unless like I'm just gripped. Like, I gotta be gripped on the show to finish it.
Or the show don't know how to wrap it the fuck up. They want to try to take eight seasons. So
I'm trying. So right now, my main focus is The Sopranos, and I'm playing. I know this game is old, but I never played Resident Evil 7, so I'm playing it now. And there's something else I'm playing. Fuck, I forgot. I don't know, it hit me. But, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at because I'm tired of, like, I feel like I haven't really been focusing on myself lately and just things I enjoy. I've noticed that. Like, I didn't watch that much football this season, so now that the playoffs started, I told everybody straight up, I'm like, look, I'm watching the playoffs. I already told you, I got to go to a dinner later, and I'm streaming that fucking game while I'm sitting at that dinner.
Fuck your meal, nigga.
Fuck it.
Ravens up. Nah.
That's where I'm at, though.
No, I respect it, bro. I respect it. Yeah, there's and I guess we can actually slide over to the sports segment. So
Shit, the game on.
Right now we got the Rams and the Packers are playing. The Packers are up by 7 in the second quarter. Later on tonight is going to be the Ravens and the Bills. I think the Bills are still on the move, man. I think the Bills are going to win.
Yeah, me too.
Tomorrow we got Chiefs and the Browns. I said overtime. You said Browns can pull off the upset. Are you standing on it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Browns are going to pull off the upset. I'm not saying it ain't going to be like a wide margin or nothing, but I think, and honestly, if they don't do it, I think if the Bills beat the Ravens, it's going to be the
get
Bills.
it done.
The Bills will get it done. I don't want to see. It's not like I want to see the Chiefs lose, but I just would like to see an unlikely team.
Well, I think there's just a lot more intrigue surrounding the other teams.
Exactly.
So it's like the Chiefs, I think, respectively, like I said, I do ultimately have them winning the Super Bowl, but there's a lot of intrigue in the Bills right now, and also the Browns. And then the other game tomorrow night is No Country for Old Men, Tom Brady versus Drew Brees.
That's tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow night. That's gonna be a good one. I think didn't the Saints mop them the last time they played?
They mopped them.
Yeah. Not that always matters, but I do remember that.
I think that's going to be a great game.
Tom Brady getting put over. They put Tom Brady over their knee.
I think one of them are going to have to just play legitimately horrible for that game to be bad. It should be because they're pretty evenly matched.
I hate to say this, man, because I know it's cliche. Whoever has the ball last is going to win.
You think that's what's going to come down? Last possession?
Whoever has the ball last is going to win.
I think it's going to be clock management. I think that's what's going to win that game. Because they're evenly matched. It's an evenly matched team. That's why I'm like, to be honest, like, I don't even know. They have almost the same strengths and almost the same weaknesses.
What if Tom Brady had the ball last and they down by like 4 touchdowns? Never mind. You say whoever had the ball last, nigga, no. But no, I do think this game will be decided. It will be decided in the fourth quarter. Meaning that the game will be whoever's leading the game, it will be within one possession. So either they're going to be up by 3 or up by 7, or no more than 7, going into the fourth quarter. And I think that quarter will decide the game. I think it will come down to that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I got the Saints winning.
Okay. I don't know, man. I want the Bucks to win. I don't like the Saints.
I know.
But I like Breeze.
I know.
Breeze is the only nigga I like on the Saints.
So I'm gonna say.
What was the other game tomorrow?
31-24. Browns and Chiefs.
Browns and Chiefs. I got Browns. 31-28. Like I think that game gonna go down to the wire.
I think the game will be higher scoring. I think it'll be 38-35.
But what I think is going to determine if the Browns win is how confident they come out. I think that's really what's going to do it. Because here's the thing. Pittsburgh straight up disrespected the Browns before that game. So the Browns already came out there like, no, we're about to wipe the floor with y'all. Which is exactly what they did.
Yeah, they beat this. Yeah.
Which they deserved. Because Pittsburgh act like idiots. But anyway, so. Yeah. So I feel like I feel like with them coming off that kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? That's a different kind of energy because you didn't just beat any team. You just beat a team with a 12-4 record or something.
Well, I think the big deal with that is believe it or not, even though the record may not reflect it, Browns and Steelers is a pretty big rivalry in terms of just like the division and that type of animosity that the teams usually have towards each other, fan bases included. My mom and my parents are from Cleveland, and they can't stand the Steelers. So, so I think that was like a definitely a statement game. Absolutely. They're gonna have to come with. I think they're definitely gonna have to maintain that same type of not necessarily the same animosity, but almost like everyone is pretty much writing us off.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I mean, they're almost in like the prime position to win because they are playing with house money. If you were to ask me who had more pressure to win this game, I would say Kansas City.
I would say Kansas City.
So,
and then on top of that, they haven't played in 3 weeks.
Exactly. So yeah,
that's another big advantage.
So there's different factors that are going on. So I think the Browns are playing with house money.
But I will say, like I said, if the Browns lose, I think the Bills are gonna do it. But I'm really liking the Bills, man. I really like the Bills.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the Chiefs defense cannot handle that Bills offense. In all actuality, it really can't. That's the one thing the Chiefs have been skating by because their offense is so goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
But that secondary and that Chiefs defense, man, it's not
suspect.
It's pretty suspect, man. They ain't really got no defensive stars for real. You only people you hear about on them is the offense. So
yeah,
and you coming off and you got who's Bills? Jared Allen, right?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. I mean, dude playing like MVP right now.
I think the trade they made for Stephon Diggs was probably one of the most key trades that they made
in their history of existing.
Yeah,
like for real.
Yeah, for sure. So I think those will be all good games. We got a good one going on right now, and I think there's gonna be some good games throughout. I don't really think any game's gonna be a blowout. I think they're all gonna be.
Nah, they should all be good.
Yeah. So let's go over to the other side. Basketball, NBA, blockbuster trade. James Harden to the Nets.
What a trade.
Cuomo, lockdown got to end today. Strippers is fiending.
Now.
Strippers is fiending. The dancers is fiending. They need it. That drive-thru ain't finna cut it. Houston strippers are on life support. They hurting.
Dude.
They going through it.
Dude.
They finna lose James Harden and Deshaun Watson in the course of a few months.
I think the Nets are about to become the most watched team in the NBA.
So, man, this is a
what a trade.
Well,
Houston got 4 first-round picks, first-round swaps, 4 first-round swaps, and something else. I was like, what a lopsided trade, man. And Houston probably sent him there knowing, like, yeah, this shit's not going to work out.
I know this doesn't mean anything to anybody because everyone's focused on the Nets, but I think Karis LeVert is about to ball out. He went to the
Cavs, right?
I think he went to Indy, I believe.
Indies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they tricked Victor.
Oladipo went to the Rockets.
Yeah.
And Karis LeVert is in Indy right now. I think Karis LeVert, because now he can finally kind of not have his own team, but every time like Kyrie or somebody's been hurt, Karis LeVert's been balling out.
That's true.
The other player that I have my eye on is Christian Wood, I believe, who plays in Houston, and he's been balling as of late. I think Houston's got, they've got a nice upside now that obviously since they're kind of rebuilding. But let's just kind of focus on Brooklyn. And we got Kyrie, who's been not wanting to play because of the capital shit, which, again, is some white shit. I don't know what the fuck you distraught about.
That man, Kyrie. That's why I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch these 3, bro.
I don't know what you distraught about. And he also got here getting jiggy with it, so he done got fined and suspended.
I cannot wait to see this.
All right. I think that James Harden is very good at saying stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see because he acknowledged that sacrifices will need to be made. Now, whether or not he's willing to do his part in sacrificing, because we've seen Kevin Durant, we've seen him in Golden State be willing to
take a step
back.
Yeah. Take a step back
to allow other players to flourish and thrive. So now the book is out on James Harden and the book is out on Kyrie.
What I don't like about what James Harden is doing is he's making it seem like he really sacrificed everything in Houston. And it was just like, yo, Houston gave you everything, bro.
They did.
Like, they brought your homeboy because you wanted your homeboy there.
They gave you Russell
You
Westbrook.
thought this player would work out because what didn't Houston do for you, man?
Well, and even on top of that, if you look at when they were in position to, what was that series a few years ago when Kevin Durant actually tore his Achilles?
Yeah.
They were up, 3-2?
Yeah.
And then they lost. So, I mean, James Harden has had opportunities in Western Conference Finals or just in playoff series, Game 6s and Game 7s, and basically series on the line, we need you to contribute or we need you to deliver, and he has not delivered.
And honestly, that kind of just showed you James Harden mentality. Like, he feels like he does no wrong. And that's a dangerous mentality to have, man.
Well, it is, and I think what also helped fester that is, like you said, Houston gave him everything he wanted.
Everything.
The coach that they gave him and D'Antoni let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. You want to shoot 50 times? Go ahead.
Yep.
That's why you like D'Antoni.
But see, here's the issue. See, now you got two entitled niggas on the same team. So now you got Kyrie, who thinks he can do whatever he wants, and you got a player now who's just coming from a team who let him do whatever he wanted.
And this is why, you know, when the people were giving Steve Nash, or people was giving shit about Steve Nash and having privilege, like, no, Steve Nash had the fucking headache on his hands. Steve Nash,
I feel bad.
Steve Nash
for
does
him.
not have. He has a plethora. Don't get me wrong. He has a plethora of talent at his disposal, but it comes with there's a particular personality / identity that has to be able to manage those personalities. And the only person that I could think of that was able to do that was Phil Jackson. Greg Popovich was smart enough to not deal with that shit. He made sure that niggas got on code when they came to San Antonio. That's why a lot of star players. That's why people ever thought about, but San Antonio has had, minus last year, they've had success going to the playoffs. Like, the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
And they've had a system that's been in place in an identity that's been marked. And that identity does not cater to a diva superstar, which is why a nigga would never say, I want to go play for Coach Pop. Because Coach Pop is not going for that bullshit.
He ain't going to tolerate it.
He's not going for that bullshit. You see, Tim Duncan had to wait till he retired to start doing dreads. And
just start to grow his dreads.
That nigga had to retire. Now you want to do MMA and grow dreads and talk shit on podcasts and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Steve Nash, he has his hands full. I feel, man, I do feel for him. I really do, because I do think him and Durant have a good relationship from Golden State, and I think Durant would try to help do what he can to not show him up. But I can't say the same thing for Kyrie or James Harden. I really can't.
Because now KD has matured a lot since. Because KD used to be that nigga. He used to be like, bro, you got a burner account. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
But, now KD has taken more. He's gotten more mature. It took some time, but it happened. But now you got two mature niggas.
But even with that, Kevin Durant, that never translated to the court. That nigga can give you all that burner shit all you want.
Yeah, you're right.
And then go on the court and drop 40.
Yeah.
So
that was the thing.
That never affected. Durant always had to me, that's why I never really killed him about his off the court bullshit, because when it came time in the hoop, he hooped.
He hooped.
And that was it. So if the man produced on the court, then I really don't think that shit you could really say to him. So that's what I always felt about Kevin Durant.
But now you got a nigga who.
So now you got somebody who hasn't produced. And
you got 50 shot attempts on one side, and you got another nigga who skips the game.
And there's just simply not. And again, there's just simply not enough passes. There's just simply not enough shots to go around. They're really not.
When's their first game together? I can't wait.
Well, that depends on when Kyrie is allowed to come back, because he just violated the COVID protocols, which means he's gonna have to be under quarantine for
2 weeks.
Yeah, a particular amount of time.
Man, I cannot wait.
In the midst of him already not wanting to play because of some, Capitol Hill shit. Mind you, he's at some party at the same time.
It's gonna be a great NBA season.
Well, that's the thing. It's
gonna be.
It's just
great.
these two dumb niggas. Like it's just these two stupid niggas. Like the rest of the season is like it could be interesting. It could be interesting to see what happens in Houston. You know, the Western Conference. You know, things as quiet as kept over in LA as far as like the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing well, but it's been kind of quiet on the home front.
But they got to be quiet. They can't talk shit about nothing.
Yeah,
they just got to play.
You know, so to me that actually helps. Like this move to Brooklyn actually helps them because now the spotlight is off of them for a while.
Yeah,
they can just focus on playing, and not have them to focus on them the fact that they have a new coach, and they underachieved last year. So the pressure goes from being on the Clippers as the favorites to now it's on the Nets.
The Clippers are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
As far as what?
Had an excellent record.
Oh.
And then at the end got completely destroyed. They're Pittsburgh.
Well, I would say this. With Pittsburgh, it's a little different because football's kind of different in general because you only got to be better at one game.
I'm talking about like the social antics and all that.
Well,
and then like the end of the season, they're kind of the same team at this point.
Yeah, okay, I understand. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh, and they did kind of do it to themselves with the whole
dancing
thing. You know, I think that's kind of mild in comparison. Because I think the dancing shit is just some silly shit you can get past. The shit that Kyrie and them niggas got going on in Brooklyn.
It's next level.
That's something different. I don't know how you manage that bullshit. Because the difference is I know Mike Thomas can get Juju in line, and Juju will fall in line. I think Juju's a good player and he's a good team player. I don't know about Kyrie. In a situation where the league is already like a player, it's a player league. It's not like the NFL, so it's like a players league anyway. So Kyrie, man, I don't feel like going to practice today. I don't feel like we supposed to play tonight. We got a game tonight. Oh shit!
And the thing is, Kyrie can swallow those funds.
That's crazy.
He got so many sponsorships and endorsements. You think he care about this shit?
You know what he does? He does this shit where he'll fuck around and be an asshole in the media. Then he'll fuck around and do some shit like, Kyrie donates to.
Yeah.
So like he does this thing to where it's like the Kyrie stan / supporters. How could you hate a man like Kyrie Irving? Because he donated. Or he paid for the tuition of 10 HBCU students, which is great. I'm not taking nothing away from that. I think that hey, none of the people are giving it back. So I think it's a good gesture. But I don't know what it is, man. I really don't know what it is to be a player like that or be a person like that. Because Kyrie, in my estimation, has not always been like this. He used to be the Uncle Drew nigga and doing the commercials and doing movies and Don't Reach Young Blood and
money.
I mean that too, but just I think something happened with the ego thing, man. Because ever since he had a situation, honestly, his situation in Cleveland, like LeBron was almost gonna kind of leave him the keys, like I'm about to get up out of here.
LeBron kept him in check.
Well, not even that. LeBron, he not only kept him in check, LeBron allowed him to thrive while being the punching bag for the criticism outside the media.
Yeah. So LeBron took a lot of heat.
So LeBron was actually able to shield him in a lot of ways. And Kyrie says, "Okay, I want to be my own man." All right, cool. So now you're in Boston as your own man. Don't nobody like you over there. They get you up out of there. Now you're in Brooklyn as your own man. It's like, what does that mean, man? And to me, his issues. I mean, hell, just on the court, number one, staying healthy. that's number one. And then the team chemistry, man. Because you got to remember, Kevin Durant might like him, James Harden might like him, but them other niggas might not. Now, granted, they them other niggas, but like, I could see somebody firing off on Kyrie.
Kyrie seemed like the type of nigga that he wanna do shit, but he don't know how to carry it out.
I can see somebody punching Kyrie in his mouth in the locker room. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think it's gonna.
I'm not gonna hold you. Hell, it might be Durant, but but I know niggas won't punch Durant because I know niggas know like Durant, he may be he may have his quirks about him, but when it comes time to hoop, he with the business. So. That nigga lost 30 pounds. James Harden hopped off the plane in Brooklyn. What's that, LaGuardia? That nigga hopped off the Guardia and ran to the fucking Barclays and lost like 30 pounds. He fooled the fucking Daryl Morey. Or no, Daryl Morey don't. He's not over there no more. He fooled. Yo, man, I'm getting fat, man. Let me fuck. But you know, black does make it look slimmer though. That's like, I mean, I'm saying, yeah, black is a deceptive color, yeah. Oh yeah, that's a tip for those of you who are trying to finesse with the inches and the angles. Wear black. Black is a slimming color.
He needs to write a finesse book. How I finessed.
I find it hard to believe he didn't know what that blue flag meant.
Bruh.
I just thought about that.
Come on, bro.
I just thought about that. Nigga, you in Houston.
You don't get the type of deals James Harden's get without being smart. Come on, bro. We knew you were plugged in. He didn't fool me with that bullshit. He knew. You're not that out of touch with reality. You're not there yet.
All right, so where do we see the Nets? You said, are the Nets in the finals this year?
Hell no.
Really?
No.
Who comes out the East? You're saying that because you don't think they'll survive that long. You think they'll fall apart?
I'll give them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Losing to who?
And honestly, if they don't even make it to that, they're considered a bust.
Well, the people are already. The reason I asked that is because people are already saying that they have to go to the finals.
They do. Or it's a bust. I agree with that 100%. The only reason why they should not go to the finals this year is if one of them gets hurt. That's it. That's your only cop out.
Well, it depends on who.
And it depends on who.
If it's Kyrie, the nigga still go. Not if it's Durant, then I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, if it's Durant get hurt.
Durant, actually, you're right. Durant has to get hurt,
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
Specifically, Durant has to get hurt.
So,
But as far as Eastern goes, I don't know, man. Because the Eastern, honestly, isn't as bad as people think anymore. It's some pretty good teams on the East Coast now.
one more question, because I think the time is gone.
Yeah.
Is the bubble coming back? Yes or no?
Nah.
I think so. Niggas is wilding.
I think it's too late in the game.
I don't.
But at the same time, you know, the NBA fucks with Disney.
Well, the things are changing, right? As far as like we talked about there actually have been rises in positive cases recently. There's obviously the new strain.
Yeah.
You got niggas out here wilding. I do think they're gonna reintroduce the bubble, maybe 2 bubbles, maybe.
Like an East and a West Coast bubble.
Yeah, but that may be hard too. But
that would be kind of hard.
or not necessarily like miles apart, but like maybe like in the same general city or state, where you may have like a Orlando to Miami bubble. I don't know, but
I feel like if they didn't already plan for it, it's not happening. Like if they already had like an emergency plan put in place to do it, then it'll happen. But I feel like right now y'all got players who's already used to being back in their lives. It's going to be kind of hard.
Well, I think they're going to come down harder on players who break protocol.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I think they're going to probably like either I think in like suspensions. Imagine, and you have to think about that too, like going into the playoffs. I could see something where like, yo, if you're caught breaking protocol, you'll be suspended for playoff games.
Yeah, like damn, that's actually a good idea. That's what I think though. I think they're gonna have to. I think they're just gonna get stricter.
Harsher.
That's all I can say.
Harsher penalties.
Because it's too late in the game, man. You that's too much of an emotional toll already.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So, but I do think that there will be harsher penalties that will be assessed for people who break protocol. So, like I said, because fines, like you said, these guys make money. If Kyrie's willing to wipe $800K away like it ain't nothing, then that means that they don't give a fuck about the money. But what they do care about is being available. And if a nigga can't play, which will also cost them a game check anyway for being suspended, then I think that'll reshape the magnitude of it. We're wrapping up.
Okay.
All right.
Time to go. I heard the footsteps.
I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's episode of the Pencil Pushers Project. We appreciate you again for tuning in. And any last words, brother, before we sign out?
Don't skip leg day.
Also, do not have birthday parties at never mind. Have a good night.
Don't have birthday dinners at 10 o'clock at night. God damn, man.
Thank you. All right, we're out of here, guys. Have a good week, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.